What is up, YouTube? And welcome back to another CZN Chaos Zero Nightmare video. I hope you guys are having as much fun playing as I am. This game is super addicting, but I'm making this video and you guys might be confused why I'm making another reroll video based off the title and thumbnail, but it's because of the fact that, one, we've been playing this game for so long, not so long, but 2 weeks. So we have a lot more data and people actually know what characters are actually, strong now, especially in the late game content, which I don't want to delve into too much in this video because there's going to be some new players to the game watching, but especially in Zero System, this content gets super hard in the highest difficulties. And even though you're thinking, oh, you can just bring one unit at a time to farm your decks, well, the thing is you have to get to the max difficulty, which requires decent characters. And of course, as you guys know, stuff like Basin, if you're new to the game, I know it might be confusing, there is a game mode where you do have to actually complete stages in a certain amount of turns to get these stars. And this rotates every, I think it's season, right? So you want to make sure you're getting the maximum rewards because it is very, very good. You get a ton of summons from this. So this is basically why having some characters that are strong is very important. And we are going to be doing this guide today because, like I said, you do get a ton of rewards which are not locked by account level, which I definitely think was not intended. But this is a screenshot from just claiming the mail only rewards on a reroll account, and you can see that you get about like 80 summons worth of rewards. It might be a little bit less, but you do get rewards from just claiming certain stuff when you do the reroll, right, from your achievements and from your growth guide as you level up, because you do end up at like level 4 or 5 after the reroll. And this is almost triple, actually no, this is triple, almost 4 times the amount of summons we got on the week 1, day 1 reroll process. So because of that, you can see if you have any thoughts about rerolling because you've been playing for a couple of days, or you don't like your account progression so far because you're missing a lot of heroes and you have only copies of Luke, well, you can see that you are getting a ton of materials to reroll with. And on top of this, I just want to talk about what characters you might want to go for off the reroll. But yeah, like I'm saying, like this is absolutely crazy. I definitely think that they did not intend to give this to everyone. Usually these apologies, it's like level 15 or something that you have to do to get these rewards to stop people from heavy rerolling their accounts this early on into a game. But hey, I'm not complaining. I might make an alt account with this. And on the topic of that, I just want to talk about some good reroll targets. So Pride1 updated their tier list, and like I say, always take tier lists with a grain of salt. But it's pretty accurate, I'd say, in terms of relative power strength. Of course, every single character can be very strong depending on the decks you farm. I personally think making a tier list for Dimensional Twilight and not Chaos Manifestation is pretty backwards, because Chaos Manifestation, you can't bring in preset decks that you farm, so you're kind of relying a lot on the character's base power, and you have to rely heavily on RNG. While Dimensional Twilight, you can always farm a perfect deck for every character and make them work. So I think it's pretty backwards, but I'm not going to talk about it too much. What I will say though, is there are certain characters that are extremely, extremely good for new players, and for the late game, they're going to end up being very strong. So the DPSs, I think the 2 best characters to reroll for, in my opinion, of course, you can have differing opinions, is Hugo and Mei Lin. These characters are absolutely crazy. Hugo does a ton of single target damage with his hunting instincts. He requires, I don't want to say the least setup, but very little setup out of the characters in the game, because you just play this hunting instincts, which starts in your hand no matter what, and it doesn't matter what cards of his that you draw. You rely on other characters to attack to proc his follow-up attack. So yeah, it's a very powerful skill, and it makes him one of the best characters in the game because you don't rely on too many setups, and his base cards are good enough. He probably has like one of the best base card setups in the game that doesn't rely on farming like super powerful decks. Mei Lin is very good because if you guys play Mei Lin, you probably know. I don't have her, I just watch people play her because she looks super fun, but she does insane single target damage. After like 2 to 3 turns of setup, you can do like 15k damage. On average, other DPSs in one turn will do about like 5k damage, so she's insanely powerful. She looks pretty cool as well. and this is a very good character to get. She can also draw cards for herself, so she synergizes very well with another character that's in T0, which is Veronica. So Veronica is a character that's also listed in T0. I would not reroll for her though, because she requires certain characters to be very good. Not to say that she's bad by herself, but if you pair her with something like a Mei Lin, or like a Haru, or even like a Rin, she is god tier. Without them, she's still very strong, but with them, she is in a tier of her own in my opinion, because she does so much damage without needing to spend your action points. And action points are very, very important in this game. The game revolves around it, but her skills don't require any. Well, they don't not require any, but her main damage abilities, she generates these ballistas, they don't cost any. It just activates at the end of your turn, which makes her very, very powerful. Now the other T0 character is a shielder, Felipe, so I think this character is god tier in like chaos mode. I don't think she's god tier in Dimensional Twilight. She's probably like T0.5, but you're better off just using full DPS teams, because Dimensional Twilight's a game mode where you are just, doing content in a certain amount of turns. So, is she worth re-rolling for? Still, yes, she's a very good progression character. So I think the three best targets in my opinion are Hugo, Mei Lin, and Felipe. Nothing has changed too much from my last reroll video, honestly. But I will say, like, the other DPSs, they're all very good. I will say though, some of them do have some constraints. I'll give an example here because I have a lot of experience with this character, Renoa. I have her at level 60. In fact, if I actually look at my account, which I'll show you, she's my only level 60 that I have. And, oh, I lied. But she's my second almost level 60 that I have. I'm just gated by units. But she is very strong. I even have her at 2 dupes, as you can see. The problem with her is that in harder stages for Chaos, she does struggle a bit because she relies on some early game epiphanies. Not early game, but some card upgrades you get early into the run. So I think for her, she's pretty, I don't want to say hard to use, but she is very fun, which is a good thing, but she does feel a bit lackluster in the harder Chaos stages. Everyone else in this tier, I have played quite a bit as well. I played Kairon in the beta, and I actually have not played Haru, but Haru is like another character that's really strong from the Raid Up banner. If you get her, you can keep her as well. But the other two, like Rin and Kairon, they're pretty solid. They also have similar drawbacks to Renoa, but still very powerful characters nonetheless. So what I'm trying to say is you can reroll for anything. I would just personally stay away from Luke and Orlia. Luke's damage, I think, needs a buff, and Orlia is a support which can be replaced by a lot of 4-star options. So even though she's a good character, because she is in the late game, she's not a character that you definitely want to, start off with, because you can find other 4-star replacements to fill in that slot. But, Magna, pretty solid option as well, just re-rolling, very easy right now. You can just go for what you want. If you're going to make an alt account like I will, you can just go for a character you want to try out. But yeah, like I said, a ton of resources, great time to start playing. And if you guys have been playing for a couple of days and you want to switch to different characters, best time to do it is right now, and it's only going to be for a week because the mail rewards only last for a week. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.